Hi, I'm Melissa Kaspern. Today I'm reporting from Holliston High School at the dedication ceremony for the Bob Nemet Sports Complex.
So I'm very honored to be here today at the field to see the dedication in honor of Bob Nemet and all that he's done for the town over the years. I've worked for the town of Holliston for over 30 years. Bob has been a fixture serving our community quietly behind the scenes. He was always very good at making sure that the access to the fire station was shoveled out during a snowstorm. I've been with him in the basement of Town Hall helping to remove water from floods on a Sunday afternoon. He just serves quietly with dignity and isn't looking for any recognition, which is why it's so great that so many members of the community were able to gather here at the Holliston High School complex to honor him and to have him hear all of the testimonies of the lives that he's touched and the way that he has served our community so faithfully.
Thank you all so much for coming out for such a worthy event here. It's an honor to see so many people that were touched by Bob coming out for this really special day.
Bob's a man of the community. He volunteers throughout the town for many committees, organizations, and town events. Bob is being honored today for his work he has done in taking care of the athletic fields here and all the other fields in town. Bob did this job by himself, very rarely asking for help. He always made sure the fields were ready for the kids to play their games. If things weren't ready, by the end of the day, Bob would come back and finish on his own time or just stay late.
I just want to thank Bob for his many years of service to the town. As the athletic director at Holliston High School, I had dealings with Bob almost every day throughout the course of the school year with the fields and the outside sports in the fall and spring, as well as during the winter as him doing the shot clock for all the years at our basketball games. I actually go back further than that with Bob. I grew up, I played baseball with his son Brian, so I've known him since the 90s. He's meant an awful lot to the town and to me personally. I miss seeing him every day. Every day when I pulled into work, no matter what time, I could see the green truck and see him out on the fields. But this is a great honor, great recognition for him. As I said, I miss seeing him at work every day, and I still do talk to him about what's going on the fields, and I wish him the best and really congratulate him on a well-deserved honor. And it'll be nice every day to walk by this on my way into work and out to the games every afternoon. So congrats, Bob.
Jay, you've worked a lot with Bob both on high school and youth sports. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, one of the things, I call him Butchie, so one of the things about Butchie that a lot of people don't know is they see a lot of the stuff that he's done, the outward stuff, but there was a lot of stuff back in the late 80s and early 90s. He was in charge of all the equipment for the Little League and the boys and girls softball and baseball. And you'd go by the town hall. If you went by the town hall probably about 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon in January and February, you would see his truck there. He was there all alone. Nobody knew what he was doing. He was up there sorting out all the equipment. Anything that needed to be fixed, he would fix. He just always did stuff that no one knew about, and it just happened. I used to go to breakfast with him a lot every Saturday morning, and we'd drive together, and he'd always have to go somewhere. He'd either go into the food pantry, and he'd stock the shelves, or he'd go right around town and make sure all the fields were set. He just did all of this stuff for both the town and for the food pantry and for the athletics. Soccer, he for years and years he did all the lining of all the soccer fields and everything. And he's just one of those guys that all the stuff he did, and all these people here know all the stuff he did, but there's a ton of stuff that these people don't know about that he did do on his own.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Lovely to see so many people here. It's no surprise at all that Bob creates such a turnout for his retirement, for his celebration, for his dedication here. He's well deserved of all of the accolades he gets, and I'm so grateful to know Bob. Bob, you apparently worked with my father long before I even started playing on these fields as a high school student, but I played on these fields as a high school student, so I owe you thanks for the work that you did to allow that to happen for me. You were one of the first people to welcome me as a new select board member. You have always been kind and gracious. You've always met me with a smile, and that means a whole lot when you're a new person in town government. testing your voice and testing your ideas. You've always greeted me with kindness and a smile, and I will forever be grateful for that. You've always been behind the HCAT video recording at town meeting. Again, always a smile, making me feel welcome, making me feel like I'm seen and appreciated for the work that I do for the town of Holliston as a select board member. So I can't offer enough gratitude to you for that. I am here tonight, though, as a representative of the select board to read a proclamation that I will say others helped write. So there's a little humor in here, and here goes. This is a proclamation for Robert Butch Nemet, for Bob Nemet Sports Complex dedication today here at the Holliston High School. Whereas Bob can be seen volunteering for almost anything in town. Whereas Bob has always a cup of coffee and a day-old muffin on hand. Whereas Bob is full of facts and figures. Whereas Bob never misses the chance to go out to dinner. Whereas Bob has lined the fields of Holliston and other towns for sporting events for years. Whereas Bob has plowed and sanded the roads of Holliston for years. Whereas Bob has taken care of all municipal buildings during a snowstorm. Whereas Bob never sleeps, but he will find you sleeping at town meeting while behind his HCAT camera on the stage. Whereas Bob can be seen setting up for elections and volunteering at the Holliston Pantry Shelf. Whereas Bob can tell you who lived in your house before you did. Whereas Bob is one of Holliston's finest. Now therefore, we, the Select Board of Holliston, do hereby recognize on October 19th, 2024, that it is Robert Butch Nemet Day. And I have also been given the task today of presenting from the Senate President's Office an official citation for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts State Senate. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Bob Nemet in recognition of your nearly 2 decades of extraordinary service to the town of Holliston and the joyous occasion of the naming of the Bob Nemet Sports Complex in your honor. And be it known further that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be only signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy therefore transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. Congratulations, Bob.
Well, thank you all. It's such an honor to be part of this celebration as we honor Bob Nemet. And 2 things. One is I also have a citation from the House. I'll spare reading it because it's a lot of the same language, but it's signed by me, your State Representative James Arena DeRosa, and the House of Representatives Speaker Ron Mariano. I will just want to say a few words about Bob. And like many of us, I first met Bob. I was coaching Little League Baseball and met him as he was getting the fields ready for another season. And then slowly realized I saw this guy everywhere. And Tina mentioned a lot, town elections, town pantry, the things that we do. And so he's been just an amazing contributor to the town of Holliston. And I was thinking today about some of the changes and challenges that we have in the town of Holliston that were coming in the years ahead. We need people like Bob Nemet in our town. And I do worry about the future because I think about people like Bob who serve this town so well in so many ways. And I think about the people who serve us and protect us in this community, the people who teach our kids, our seniors, our veterans, people like me, someone who worked in the nonprofit government world. And if we are not careful, that whole group of people, I could not afford a house in Holliston today. And if we are not careful, in a generation, this town will change. And we often talk, when we're deciding on what kind of decisions we're going to make about development and housing, we talk about the character of our community and preserving it. And I love this town. I love the look and feel of Holliston, and I get that. And that's part of it. But I would say to all of you that the character of our community is also the people who live here, people like Bob Nemet. And we need to make sure there is always space in this town for people like Bob Nemet. So congratulations, Bob.
Can you tell us a little bit about your interactions with Bob as part of the Holliston Pantry Shelf?
Sure. I've been working with Bob for about 13 years. And we work on the inventory together. It's the 2 of us on Saturday mornings and most days during the week. Bob's the reason that we don't have to throw much product away. He's, as most people know, very detail-oriented. So I've tried to keep it up while he's been out, but it's difficult to get up to that standard. But if it wasn't for Bob, we wouldn't have been able to move into this pantry as on time like we did. He was the clerk of the works for that, and made sure that the contractors were doing what they were supposed to and got us in there. And it's just been great working with him all these years.
And I have been working with Bob for about 6 years now, and extremely thankful. He makes my job look easy. He just does so many things behind the scene, and if we need something done, he's just there to get it done, no questions asked. You don't see Bob like as the face of the pantry all the time because he's always there when it's closed, always doing the work that we need done behind the scenes. So we're just so happy this is happening for him.
Hi. So I have one of those stories. I'm not sure if Bob remembers the first time we ever met. I was about 10, and my dad and I were picking up our softball equipment from the upper town hall, which I don't know if you remember was that big storage pit. It was a little scary, and it was dark. And out of the darkness came Bob with his crooked baseball softball hat and that wild beard he had going on. Scared the bejesus out of me. The next thing he said to me, though, was that we were the first people there, and we had our first choice of all the equipment there, and that just made my year, so thank you. Fast forward to the year 2000, and I was hired to work for Parks and Rec, and Bob took me under his wing and taught me, as Mark said, everything you need to know about fields, scheduling, maintenance, good Lord, everything. And he made me part of his team. We had an awful lot of fun for the 17 years that I was there. Sometimes it was a little bit stressful. We always seemed to be fighting the weather gods for something. But Bob always had a solution or a resource for any problem that we encountered. And the best thing about Bob is it was never about him. It was always about the kids and the community. And he always does his absolute best on every job because he doesn't want to let anybody down. My favorite thing, though, is that even though we stopped working together, our lives have been intertwined throughout every part of the community. My basketball world with coaching, the cycle that we used to work at, and anything and everything in between. And even though we stopped after 17 years, we continued our friendship, and I'm so grateful for that. So thank you so much. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations, nobody deserves this more than you do. Thank you so much, Bob.
Hi, everyone. I first met Bob because I have the lucky joy of being in his neighborhood. And lived in one house in the neighborhood, and we moved up closer to him. So when I first Bob, I met him as Butch with all of our neighbors, and then I started to do some reporting and work at HCAT because I love to be in front of a camera, and Bob was there behind the camera. Then I was on the food pantry board, and Bob was there as well, both as a board member and working at the pantry all the time. And I also joined as a parks commissioner. I think I'm going on my 15th year. And Bob was there as well. And to know Bob is when you need something done in town and someone says, oh, I know a guy. Usually that guy is Bob Nemet. But people don't realize it because he's always behind the scenes. And when we look at our town and we look at our fields and we would talk to other towns where they would say, we have a team of 5 or 6 people that take care of our fields, and we're like, we have Bob. So it's always amazing to me how much Bob gets done. He never sleeps. I don't know when he sleeps. He is always there to send you a photo from his flip phone so you can't text back to let you know what's happening in town. And he's just one of those people that no matter where you go, you know that he's had a hand in making this town a better community. We couldn't ask for anyone better than you to support us, whether it be Cycle for Life, the Pantry Shelf, HCAT, Parks and Recreation. And when we were talking about this, I was like, Bob will hate the fact that we're going to have his photo and naming a field after him, but we don't care because we love you and we love the fact that we are able to do this for you. So thank you so much for all of your years of service. It's an honor to work with you in all these capacities and, more importantly, be a friend and a neighbor. So thank you.
Patty, can you tell us a little bit about your interactions with Bob, both with the Cycle for Life, which he was just honored at, and also Holliston Youth Baseball Softball?
Yeah, so Bob was one of those Holliston residents who came out year after year, probably all 27 years that we ran the CF Cycle for Life. He would show up at 5 a.m. and he would be the last one to leave, and we honored him at the Cycle for his dedication to that event as well. But no matter what we needed done, Bob had already done it. So we could always count on Bob to know where the cone was, know where the stake needed to be without any question at all. And that was just the way he is, and we really appreciated it.
Kristen, as both past Parks Assistant Director and Director, you've worked with Bob for many years. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences working with Bob?
It was awesome. He took me under his wing when I first started out, and he was a lot of fun. He made it very team-oriented way of working, and he always had my back. We had few stressful situations, but we had a lot of fun, and I'm so grateful for his support over the years. He has just been an amazing person to have, not only in my Parks and Rec life, but in the other parts of my life as well. He worked with me at basketball, a cycle that we work with, and any other part. He's a great friend, and I just really appreciate everything he has ever done, and I'm just so happy for him. He deserves all of this and more, so I'm just so happy for you, Bob. Thanks so much. Love you.
I'm here with the man of the hour, Bob Butch Nemet. Bob, give us your thoughts on today.
Wow, never expected it. Yeah, a lot more than I expected. That's for sure.
Well, had we had you on the committee, I think we would have had the proper sign in time. So it just goes to show us how much you do behind the scenes. But it was great seeing people from Food Pantry, Parks, Cycle for Life, veterans, old-time softball. So anything that stood out to you in particular?
Old-time baseball.
Oh, old-time baseball, sorry. Yeah. Not to be confused with old man softball. Right. Two different things, yeah. So Bob always knows. So what was your favorite part of today?
Just everybody speaking. Yeah, really surprised me. Yeah.
What are you going to do with all your time off now?
Watch the trucks go by plowing. Yeah, don't have to stay out all night. Yeah, that'll be nice. Although I did enjoy it. Yeah, yeah. Miss doing the fields. Yeah, and whether it's a high school state team or somebody playing clinic soccer or t-ball, they all deserve the same field. Yep, no matter what age they are. And even the old men deserve the same field too, so, yep.
Well, we know you've worked hard to make sure that everyone has a great playing field to play on. And like we said, other towns have 6, 10, 16, 20 people to do what you do behind the scenes. So we really, really appreciate all you've done for the town. And there's nobody that deserves this more.
Thank you. Thank you.
We just finished up a wonderful dedication ceremony for the Bob Nemet Sports Complex at Holliston High School. And while this ceremony focused on the high school field and all Bob has done for the town in many capacities, we want to say a special thanks to Bob from his HCAT family for all he's done throughout the years, behind the camera, scheduling things, finding people, getting us some of our best stories, because we always know if you want to know what's going on in town, talk to Bob Nemet. So for Heartbeat of Holliston, I'm Melissa Kaspern. Thanks, Bob.